Good morning, good afternoon, good brunch, good evening, fellow Blues, from wherever you're watching the channel. We're about 6 minutes away from kickoff here. So the starting lineup for today. So no changes for Everton. In a sense, the main change is that we've stuck with Beto up front. Outside of that, not too many changes. We've been uncertain of how we're going to handle the wide play. Ryan was just talking about that, but we have Jack Harrison and Godfrey as a pair on the right, the McNeil and Mikalenko, or as I brand them, the McNeilenko combination on the left. As Wezo said, we have an injured but battling Abdoulaye Doucouré with his sore knee and recovered hamstrings playing as the number 10. And we have a Amadou Onana, who is playing again. And I think if I had a preference, if we had our players in, we'd look a little bit differently. But Idrissa Gana Gueye is out. We know Danjuma and Dele Alli are out. But beyond that, I think the real question then is, how are we going to exploit United today? So defensively and how they played last week, they were quite resolute against quite a good Manchester City side for quite a while, but they ran out of legs and Phil Foden eventually got to them. The goal that they did score was Andre Onana kicking a long ball out to that space where you would on the left channel between kind of where Garnacho, Fernandes, and Rashford like to sit. Bruno did an excellent job shielding that ball and doing a one-touch back to Rashford. But beyond that, they were relatively punchless for a lot of that match. They did have a couple counter-attacking opportunities, but I can't see them replicating that on a day like today. From my side, and I think from some of the other analysts around Europe, they were talking about the leg speed of Casemiro not being up to par and him looking a bit like a soft underbelly to exploit. Johnny Evans came off either injured or had a knock against Man City and kind of recovered, but doesn't have the leg pace if Beto can exploit it. So maybe that right channel where Victor Lindelof is filling in for an injured Luke Shaw might be inroad into success. The problem then becomes, who are we putting in that position? Yes, we have Harrison. Yes, we have Godfrey. Are they really the kind of players who are going to make that impact for us? Unfortunately, I don't see it. Maybe Doucouré and Beto decide to get creative on who goes in what channel on counterattacks, because I think that's the way we're going to go. So to David's point, am I expecting much either? No, not really. I'm telling myself we're going to lose 2-0, but the reality is this could be one of those surprise results. My fellow American compatriot over here in Chad was saying that this could be one of those surprise results like we got against Brighton. But the reality is we've been hoping for a surprise result for so long that if you're hoping for it, it isn't a surprise. So my coverage right now, we haven't kicked off, but it is 3 minutes to 5:30 over here in Arizona. But they are on the pitch. Everton with the alternate home strip, so that the white shorts of United don't clash with the white shorts of Everton. And hopefully everyone's wearing the right color socks. I remember last year at some point we had what was it? Neil Maupay came in and wore his alternate socks by accident at a home match, and it was quite embarrassing. So hopefully everyone is kitted up with their normal but not normal kit today. So let's see other things. So yeah, from Eugene asking for score prediction. So my prediction, I think today is 2-0, but I don't want to truly be on the fence with it and say anything can happen. But honestly, this is the kind of game that, yes, I don't think we're going to win, but Man United are so inconsistent that I think there's every opportunity that we could nick a point here today. Yeah, and as all Stuart here was saying, as I was mentioning, the old blue kit. So there'll be little strips of white on the top and maybe a little bit on the shorts, but the socks and the shorts will be the alternate blue kit. So I think 2-0 to United, but I think if United aren't on form, this could be a day to expose their complacency, but we'll see. Varane looked a little bit better, but he's been hot and cold, and Dallow's actually looked very good for them. With Rashford up front, they don't have the same punch as they would do with the likes of a Rasmus Højlund, who is also out injured. So now the question is, and to what we dealt with last week, we looked good for a while, and then we went to the subs. I think that is certainly an opportunity for us. So if you look at on the SofaScore ratings, you can see who's played this season. For Man United, only 5 of their subs have had any appearances. So quickly going over to their injury list, they have a lot of players out. Højlund is a big one. We know that Martial can cause us problems. Mason Mount hasn't done a great deal for them this year, but always an option. Maguire did well for them against us when they came to Goodison. Basaka on their right fullback has a lot more attacking flair, but less positional and defensive competence compared to Dalot. Luke Shaw's out, so that's where Lindelof is an opportunity for us. And the lack of Lisandro Martinez to play the ball out from the back. If we decide to go high press on them, I think that's our opportunity to kind of expose them, as long as we're not putting too many men forward and giving the likes of Rashford or Garnacho space on our flanks. So going back to the bench here, we have about as well stocked outside of, I'd say, Danjuma and Idrissa Gana Gueye in terms of experience and coverage on the bench. For once, we have more coverage than United do. They have Amad Diallo. I haven't seen him play. Christian Eriksen is still a well-renowned player, but doesn't have the leg speed he used to have and has been shown up a few times. The Moroccan defensive midfielder that they brought in Amrabat, and then an out-of-form Tony. So it looks like they're sneaking one more add-in for me before the match kicks off, but we're very close to kickoff here. But yeah, from my side, I think the bench opportunities for Everton, we do have more depth today. That doesn't mean that Dyche will use it as we are hoping. I know we've been screaming out for an improved quality of utilization of our bench, and last week it backfired. The second we brought in, pulled James Garner to the right, subbed Beto off because he was quote unquote tired. Look, they're showing some coverage now of the match. We have Gary Oldman looking, well, quite old with his coffee. Looks like we have an Alex Ferguson with a blood red scarf, shaking some hands, and we're right about at kickoff. So looks like Bruno Fernandes on the ball and kicking off. So if you guys are ahead of me and wanted to time it, looks like I'm right about at the 0-0 mark here. So United are in the kickoff, shooting to their left side. I'm not sure in terms of street sides what that entails, but looks like we're about off. And as Stu's saying, they have kicked off, and so have I. So Casemiro on the ball, going to right fullback. Looks like Johnny Evans is maybe playing the right centre back, not the left. Varane on the left centre back side to Onana, back to Varane. To Lindelof, looking very uncomfortable early. Beto almost chasing it down. So they're trying to spring the trap, and we're on the ball here and turn it over. Beto, early cross, blocked. Manu covered. Lindelof through the middle, given away again immediately. But unfortunately, we did too. James Garner on the recovery. And now they're coming out from the right fullback position. Trying to read numbers here. Looks like Dalot to Garnacho is starting out wide right. So I expect McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, and Garnacho to alternate in their different central attacking midfield positions and not really have a full winger throughout this. So Johnny Evans on the ball to Rafael Varane on the left side. This is interesting. I think this is what I wanted to see, that we're boxing them in. Man United like to play from the back, but their team is not fully equipped right now with some missing players, and we're exposing them again. McNeil winning the ball after Beto's chase. McNeil right on the box. Beto stumbling over his own feet. McNeil going to the back post, but blocked. Really good start from Everton here. We have a corner on the left side. McNeil smiling and waving, saying sorry, but honestly, there wasn't too many opportunities with Beto falling over him. They're zooming in on a grimacing Evans, but I think that's just his natural expression, honestly. So it looks like we have James Garner coming in. Looks like he snuck up a two-hander for a deep back post. Let's see if he can do it after he's had a week to recover from his short corners. So here we go. Here comes the corner. Reasonable to the mid post, but covered by Johnny Evans. McNeil's on the ball, looking back to Garner, back to McNeil, early cross. This is much better from Everton. Let's go! Oh, is it? Oh, well covered by Onana. This is a really good start from Everton. We're going back post, Onana, and it looked like maybe Beto were there on the back post. So we had Beto, Godfrey, and Onana playing the back post. This is what I was screaming for all of last week. Potentially that was going to be called offside anyway, but we're really making Man United look uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, that would have been a handball. So time-wise, if you guys are trying to match up with me, I'm now at 2 minutes 30. So back to the play. Evans back to Onana. He's waiting for an Everton player to trap him in, but they're playing the same game of pass the ball. Oh, here we go. Casemiro looking really weak in the middle. They're giving the ball away haplessly, but getting away with it. So United have the ball again. They're coming down on the right side now through Bruno Fernandes. Out to Garnacho on the right side. To Dallo, to McTominay, to Mainu, and then back to their centre-back option. So they're pinning us in on their attacking side right now. Evans to Varane, to Rashford is trying to get into the game on that wide left and gave the ball away immediately. So quick turnaround from Everton. It's not working so far. We're a little bit sloppy on these the times we're winning the ball, but all signs are very promising that if we keep some composure here, we're going to make Man United really uncomfortable. So really good tactical start from Dyche. We'll see if this continues, or does Man United change doing more long balls rather than building up from the back? Because if they build up from the back, we have to change how we press. So I'm at 3 minutes 50. Andre Onana's on the ball to Casemiro, who's playing the number 6 option through the middle for them. And then back to Onana. So they're two centre halves widen out to the 18-yard box, and then then the middle option is through Casemiro. So if Casemiro loses that ball or turns the ball over, we're looking in a really good position. They did a long ball. Branthwaite gave it away. Garnacho's coming on the ball, looking out wide right to Dallo, who's tucked in, and Onana's covered well. So Mikalenko in a good jockeying position and gave the ball away through that one-on-one situation, and Onana won the ball, but kicked it out for a throw-in. So I'm at 4 minutes 35. The camera showing a begruntled Eric Ten Hag, but if he looked happy, I think he would be out of a job. So ball is back. A little bit of a tussle. Onana wins it, but James Garner can't get the recovery. And again, ball given back to Everton through a sloppy pass by Casemiro. Beto's on the ball. A long diagonal to Decore. Let's go back post. Oh, okay. So it was more of a cross shot, and it was at the head height of Onana, who looked acrobatically able to save it, but we needed to go higher and deeper to the back post, and Onana wouldn't have got there. But again, promising breakaway play by Everton. Here we go again. McNeil winning the ball off, coming through the middle, but well covered. Looks like that was Casemiro sliding in to block the pass through the middle from McNeil. So I'm at 5 minutes 30, and it's a throw in to Everton on the left side. Mikalenko there, right at here, trying to hassle Dallo, but went off his toe for a goal kick. So it should be. Oh no, wait. Okay, excellent. So that it ended up going off Dallo, not Mikalenko. So it's another corner for Everton on the left corner flag. James Garner taking it again for another in-swinger. Looks like Tarkovsky. Surprise, surprise is coming in. Beto trying to stand right in front of Onana, but Rashford's being the shield. Okay, just to what Stu said, another poor corner there, going near post. So, but it's coming back into Harrison. Okay, that was really close. So that was a diagonal first touch from Branthwaite, but now it's opened up the game. Rashford's coming in on their side at 6 minutes 30, looking in for an opportunity to Garnacho on the far post, and we can give Harrison all the crap we want going forward, but that's the reason why he's in the team right there. It's excellent defensive tracking to take on Rashford, because if he wasn't in that position and showing that defensive discipline, that could have been a goal to Man United here at around 7 minutes. So excellent backtracking from Harrison, who double teamed with Mykolenko, but Mykolenko was well beat. They went to Mykolenko's weaker right foot to go to Rashford's left, and Harrison covered. But that leaves us with a corner to Manchester United at 7 minutes and 13 seconds. One hand, so probably a near post or a short corner. Looks like a short corner. And a header easily won by, hard to tell, there may have been Casemiro, but straight at Pickford's hands. So that was a very interesting play. If they did score from that, I think they may have called a foul because Branthwaite was tracking Casemiro, and then Varane moved off his man to body check into the rib cage of Branthwaite and knock him over to free up Casemiro there. But no harm, no foul, because no goal as long as the rib cage of Branthwaite's doing okay. Anyway, we're at 7 minutes and 52 seconds. The ball's back with Onana defensively, and we're going to see if we can put them into a false sense of security as they pass it out from the back. And Onana isn't seen an option. We have 4 playing up front in our press, and he's doing a long diagonal. Comfortably won by Mykolenko against Garnacho, and the ball goes to McNeil. A through ball covered by Evans in the middle to Beto, and now Mainoo's on the ball, and Taki may have whacked his thigh on the run through, so it's a foul on the right in that kickoff circle on the on the Everton side. Yeah, clipped his ankle for sure. So Varane to Victor Lindelof, back to not Amadou, but Andre Onana, who's looking for passing options and not really happy with their short passing options. So they're starting to change how they're bringing the ball up because of all the turnovers, I imagine. And these long balls are being comfortably won by the Everton fullbacks. So Godfrey wins the ball. Harrison on it to Godfrey. To Evans, to Casemiro. Garnacho winning the ball. Passing to McTominay out on the left side. To Marcus Rashford, who's now not playing as a striker, but as the winger. So they're alternating their lead striker here. Is that a penalty? Oh, come on. So I'm at 9 minutes 22. It looks like Garnacho fell over very easily there, but hard to say that Tarkowski didn't hit him, but we'll have to see the replay. Simon Hooper with absolutely no doubt in his mind. And so Rashford comes through. Oh, that is a weak penalty. There was contact, so it's going to be very hard to overturn. Oh, no, unfortunately, that is a penalty. Tarkowski with his trailing leg definitely made contact as, what's his name again? Alejandro Garnacho turned. He definitely milked the penalty, but the reality is if you make contact with a player and that player is changing direction, it's pretty frustrating. But very weak contact. But the second that gets called, there's no way they're overturning that on VAR. Bruno Fernandes here at 10 minutes 15. Going to be taking the penalty. Pickford playing some mind games. Looks like Stu might be just ahead of my content by the way he's commentating this here. So I'll try not to spoil my reactions from whatever you say, Stu. So Pickford against Bruno. Definitely a game of some big personalities right here. Bruno looking down, not getting distracted by the crowd, taking his steps back from the left side, so he'll be going forward onto his right. I'm at 10 minutes and 55 seconds. And goal to United. Pickford went the right way. Very similar type of penalty to what we saw last week for Beto. But United are up 1-0. So hopefully this isn't another long 90 extra minutes of us trying to break them down, but I have a bad feeling. That strike was with a little bit more conviction, a little bit more to the corner than Gomez Beto, but give credit to Fernandes. He knew exactly where he wanted it. And if you hit it with that pace right into the corner, you can't get to it. And that's the difference between he may not be a popular character with his personality, but man, can he strike a ball? And Bruno Fernandes puts Man United up 1-0 against Everton at Old Trafford. So this will be a very interesting situation now for the final 90 minutes. I'm sure it will have either a reaction from United or Everton, but the kickoff is now coming back on. I am at, let's give it a time, 12 minutes 21. So Godfrey's on the ball through the middle, looking for an option to McNeil. Is he going to strike it? No, he's passing to an overlapping Mikalenko. To back post, covered by, looks like Lindelof. And, out. McNeil, that was a chance. And honestly, to Stu's point here, it is a better start from us. That penalty was really unfortunate because Everton have certainly been the better side, but I don't want to talk like Sean Dyche here and say XG and playing better, but absolutely we have been looking a more dangerous side. The problem is we have a heavy-footed Tarkovsky and they have a fast-footed Garnacho that can move his body into the right position for a foul. Doucouré on the ball to McNeil on cross into the back post, making Lindelof look uncomfortable. It's slightly overhit. So I was screaming all week that we needed to hit back post. We may not be getting to those players, but we are crossing the ball into much better areas right now. We're just slightly overhitting it. But if we're overhitting the ball, all we need to do is slightly underhit an overhit ball to the back post, and we have the players there waiting for those opportunities. So really interesting and a really good sign of how Everton are playing. Man United are doing a lot of long balls through Onana that were winning at the halfway line. That was won by Tarkovsky. And unfortunately, we're playing long ball game 2, and Beto getting outdone there by Rafael Varane. I am at 14 minutes. Andre Onana, another long ball. And Mikalenko let it run because he had the cover of Branthwaite on that side. Pickford playing it out to Godfrey. To Harrison, who's being manhandled by Lindelof. And go figure, we actually get a free kick. I'll take that. Lindelof looked very uncomfortable. Harrison didn't look that comfortable either. But in many respects, Everton and United like to play a similar game of their best way of scoring is either a long ball or forcing a possession error from the other team by playing through the back. The main difference is Man United like to play man-to-man, and Everton are a little bit more zonal. Pickford on the ball to the left side here to Mikalenko, back to Onana. Looks like McNeil's been an option through the middle. Oh, excellent pass here to Beto, but offside. So he needs to time those runs better. We know that, but that's certainly a way in for Everton if it isn't striking the ball from across to a back post. That pass there from Jared Branthwaite was excellently passed, but Beto just didn't time his run. But those are the kind of plays where we're going to outrun a very tired set of legs in Johnny Evans and an injured Rafael Varane. So I think that kind of play is definitely an opportunity for us to run through the middle and have just enough weight on the through ball so when it loses legs, it's on the 18-yard box of United. But for right now, other than tactic conversation, let's go back to the match. Mainu's here at 15 minutes 41, and Mikalenko with an excellent sliding tackle, or was that Branthwaite? They may have to replay that. Cleared by Mikalenko, won by the header of, I think that was Varane. Oh, Dallo, sorry. To Casemiro, back to Fernandes, back to Dallo, back to Fernandes, back to Johnny Evans, looking probably to switch it to Varane to the left side here. And Varane's running forward. Beto's playing zonal, but not that close. Garnacho and a shank by Bruno Fernandes. It could easily have, if he put that on target, that could have gone anywhere. So, Emma, I completely agree with you. I'm trying to put a positive spin, but the reality is the way we've been, the real positive right now is how we've been playing. I'm not saying that we are an excellent side right now. What I will say is I have been seeing an improvement in how we've been playing over the last 4 weeks. Anything is better than Palace. We played better against Brighton, trying to shake it up, but we were giving the ball away a lot. We were doing a similar kind of game against West Ham, but gave it away. And today we're not not building up as much from the back. We're charging through the middle and without passing, and then doing some through balls. And we are doing a lot more pressing rather than just trying to win the ball back from them once they get on our side of the box. So here's a pass to Beto and back to Tarkovsky. We're at 17 minutes 10. To Branthwaite. Decided not to go to McNeil in the middle, but Mikalenko decided to use him instead. To Decore. Oh, that was a bit sloppy from Decore. First touch was a bit off, and he couldn't recover his pass in the second, causing a turnover very quickly. Rashford's coming in, but overhit. I think that was from Casemiro, and Pickford has it covered. Oh no, McTominay overhit there. On this little iPad, it's hard to tell all the players. If I get the names wrong, I apologize. So I have Pickford on the ball here, going to Branthwaite, to Mikalenko, and that was a dead-end pass, but Man United giving us the ball back. That was a much better pass by Onana, a really low switch to Godfrey. Harrison's playing on the inside. James Garner to Onana. Yeah, these are the scenarios where we had an opportunity to look more dangerous and we just went backwards. But maybe that we're worried about giving the ball away in that position again because we didn't have the defensive coverage on a turnover. So maybe we're playing it safe, but it's we're moving forward, 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward sometimes here. Crossing again now to Mikalenko on the left side. Going to Harrison. Have a strike. Oh, that was not far off, at least from this angle. Harrison striking with his comforted left side. So he's coming into the middle there and then struck it with his left. And yeah, a little bit over for sure. But if he was a little bit more on top of that, I'm not sure Onana would have saved that. But c'est la vie. That chance is over. We're now at 18 minutes and 55 seconds. Onana is on the ball. A little chip shot through the middle to McTominay, who's holding the ball up. And that was not really a foul, but he played it well. Simon Hooper shaking his head to Tarkovsky, saying, "You touched him, but it's a contact sport." And don't we love it as fans watching cheap little fouls like that? Because that was a definite opportunity for a turnover. First time Onana's tried to play kind of in either a middle ball, let's say, not a long ball to their strikers or a pass to their fullback. So we'll see if they do more plays like that. Kobe Mainu trying to do the right thing, but overhit with some pressure from Harrison. So at least defensively, Harrison's doing okay so far. We're at 19 minutes 38 or 40 now. Tarkovsky on the ball, through to the middle. A good chest there from Beto, passed it directly to McNeil. And now we have an overlapping run from Mikalenko. Goes back to McNeil. You guys need to cross this ball earlier. Come on. And here we go. Cross. So that was the problem there. We had all the right play, but Mikalenko did not have the confidence to cross that early. Gives it to his trusted partner in McNeil, and we give the ball away, giving them time to set up. So for those that have been listening to our Follow Everton match reactions, this is a perfect example of that. We had a great breakaway opportunity, and Mikalenko did not have the confidence to cross the ball and passes it to his trusted partner and gave time for them to set up. And that's the problem with Everton going forward. We're not quick enough, but it's also a tactical decision and the confidence in our players to make the crosses. So Branthwaite now on the ball to Tarkovsky. Oh, that was close. Bruno nearly getting the ball off James Garner, but shielded just enough. Another really good diagonal to Mikalenko. He's in the right spots, winning the ball back. It's the matter now of cross the ball early. Okay. So Everton are doing the right things, but we are giving the ball away, trying to create a crossing or shooting opportunity up front here. So a lot of turnover. It's kind of sloppy, but you can tell we're doing the right thing. Bear with me while I cough off mic. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. James Garner tried to cross but blocked, and looks like an Everton throw in. I'm here at 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Beto to Godfrey. Oh, that excellent by releasing the ball first time. Not as excellent on the cross, but it was to the back post. No one was there. And McNeil here. Oh, that was okay. That was the right idea again. This time it was an early cross from McNeil, someone who has the confidence to cross. Harrison almost there, probably a half boot too far behind the ball. But that was an excellent position for that ball to be from McNeil to that back post. He's starting to get a lot more backspin on his strikes now and his crossing. So the ball is dead ending exactly where he wants, where it's not being overhit. So if the ball was to bounce, it'll land exactly where he wants to. What we need now is some bravery from our Everton players to commit to those back post opportunities that we're actually providing today, and for the likes of Mikalenko to release the ball earlier and not just rely on McNeil, because that gets very predictable to defend. We're at 22 minutes 30 here. Tarkovsky's on the ball, going to Harrison. He's asking for a wide option to Beto. Doesn't happen, so he goes back to Godfrey. Back to Tarkovsky. He decides not to give it to Pickford and goes down his right side. A slightly awkward, very awkward in the end, meandering run, but lucky us, we won the ball back. So Beto's there on the right flank. He's crossed into the back post to McNeil. One touch. Okay, shoot Mikalenko, let's go. Oh, okay. That was better, but Casemiro saw that the whole time. It looked like an option, but a little bit slower in passing between McNeil and Mikalenko. But credit to us, we have a corner. On these scenarios, I'm trying not to watch on the comments just before a set piece, because I have a bad feeling it'll either be a comment of we need to cross better or goal to someone. But anyway, James Garner taking another corner from that from his right foot in, swinging on the left side and going to back post. And Tarkovsky slightly out of position to receive that. And yes, he won the header, but he also flipped over backwards, like I said, an Arizona tumbleweed, and out for either a throw in or a goal kick. They didn't show where it went. Probably a goal kick. I'm at 24 minutes here. Looks like they played it out from the back, and Mikalenko winning the recovery to James Garner, who can't keep his studs on the grass, to Decoy. And his strike. Oh, okay. A little bit. Let's go, Onana. Okay. Well, James Garner's strike was certainly on target. And Onana throwing his hands up in the air, trying to rev up the United crowd. What are you doing, mate? James Garner's strike was on target, but it was curling right into the middle. And all Onana has to do is turn himself sideways, look like he's diving, and get credit for an excellent save that was right at him. And the next chance goes to Onana, and the same problem that Jack Harrison had a little bit earlier. He's not getting his body on top of the ball enough, so it's kind of going up with that upward slant and never going on target. But I don't want to just keep saying really promising from Everton if we can't convert these opportunities. But at least by the way we're playing it, we're not giving this game up right now. We're certainly sticking it to United. Godfrey with a pretty reasonable cross to Beto, but Beto was more stuck dealing with the physical contest of Rafael Varane to get his chest to that through ball, and looks like it's went out for another goal kick to Man United. I might try and pull up some stats on the side as we go through here, but I'll definitely do more of a statistical analysis as the match goes on. Onana doing this is risky. They did a long ball, and there was a mix-up between Tarkovsky and Godfrey, and who had Rashford, which left Garnacho free. Blocked by Tarkovsky, and Garnacho with a lot of antics, but then again, Amadou Onana has nothing he can stand to, because he would do exactly the same thing with any contact. But this all led from a mix-up. That all led from a long ball from that Amadou Onana, sorry, not Onana, between Godfrey and Tarkovsky. They got a mix-up on who was taking on Rashford, and that led to the second Man United player on their left wing in Garnacho being free. We blocked the first opportunity, and now it went into the middle. The replay did not look like there was a whole lot of contact with Onana, but knowing how Simon Hooper's been refereeing this, anytime there's whoever gets the ball first, if there's contact on that player, they're going down like a ton of bricks or a wet, soggy biscuit. And In this case, it's a free kick. It looks like it's between Bruno Fernandes or Marcus Rashford, probably about 22 yards out on the left side. Oh, what a save by Pickford. Oh, that is excellent. And what's the facial expression? Ooh. He was quite impressed with his save there, and as quite rightly he should. He it curled back a little bit, and Pickford actually overjumped that, and he had to recover, pulling his hand back a little bit. And that's so tricky because the last thing you want to do when your palm is behind you is to recover back and make sure the ball is not spun off your hand or going back into the field of play. So that was an excellent save by Pickford and a really good recovery from a dive where he didn't read it that well with the curve of Bruno Fernandes' strike. But for right now, Everton are still, I suppose, in it. We don't score many goals, but 1-0, anything can happen. And I believe we're at about 28 minutes here, just waiting for the clock to come on instead of a peacock ad. Yep, 28 minutes exactly. Victor Lindelof through the middle to Rafael Varane, back to Lindelof to Garnacho, opens up his body to Rashford, but gave the ball away, but so did we. Mainu double teamed there in the middle, Onana winning it, and freeing up McNeil, dashing through the middle, looking like he's needed to release that ball earlier, and Dallow's chasing him down. His only option was to go through the legs, and that was not a very easy option, and it did not get to Decore or Beto. So it's turned around now. Garnacho through the middle to a wide left, Marcus Rashford. No one near him. Godfrey playing a lot more central there. Rashford to the back post on a 2-on-1 against Mikalenko to McTominay. Oh, that was close. So I'm not sure what happened there, but tactically we got exposed at the back post right there. Very lucky from us. So I think what happened was Branthwaite had to go to the right side to recover, and Tarkovsky stayed central and wasn't tracking McTominay. And Mikalenko was lucky he didn't get that double team wasn't more effective. But Tarkovsky did have a good recovery, I guess, tackle and save there. But that was a very sketchy moment for us. So I'm at 29 minutes 30. Branthwaite's passing the ball through the middle to McNeil, who's kind of playing in a left central channel position rather than wing, but he has been doing actually quite well today outside of that finished product. Okay, that was a good through ball, testing the legs of Evans, and Beto wins out the foot race, tucked into Decore, passing back to Beto on the left wing now, to McNeil, to Onana. Guys, just someone cross it. Oh, that was an It's hard to keep saying excellent strike when they're not on target, but that was really promising again. McNeil's strikes are getting a lot better. He just misses. There was no way anyone from Man United was saving that if that was on target. Tooth the orifice? I think so. Maybe I can look at some of the the win-loss record at halftime. Oh, that was a weird cheap foul to give away that looks like Onana just happens to be taller than McTominay, so a contact on the shoulder to give that ball away. We're at 30 minutes 45 here. Casemiro going out wide left. They're not showing much coverage of the game, just showing Bruno Fernandes at the moment. Ball back to Lindelof, through the middle to Johnny Evans, to McTominay, quick-footed to Casemiro, to Rashford, and then back to Varane. So we don't have them penned in, but they're not really having many options past the halfway line. So positionally, Everton are looking quite good and not giving them some free run once we get in position here, which is, I suppose, promising. That once we win the ball back, what do we do with it is the real question that I have for today so far. Well, they finally broke through with a quick pass through the middle to McTominay. And then Bruno out wide, but he overhit it. Now Rashford winning the recovery ball against Godfrey. To Lindelof. And a strike by, Casemiro to Bruno. Bruno to Dallo. Dalla to Casemiro. A little chip over the top, making Mikalenko uncomfortable. That could have well been a handball, but looked like he got knocked over. So maybe there wasn't enough contact, but no surprise that Bruno wants another penalty opportunity to get 2 goals up against Everton. So Mikalenko going for a header here. And honestly, that could easily have been a penalty. There was no contact on Mikalenko, maybe a little bit of a boot, but Mikalenko should count himself really lucky there. He went for the header, misread, and as he was landing both his arms to brace himself, made contact with the ball and no call. So I'm counting ourselves lucky right there, because those are the kind of results that happen against Everton a lot. In my view, that was maybe more of a penalty than the one we had against us. So I guess you win some, you lose some. But lucky break for Everton there, in my opinion. We're at 32 minutes 50. Back on Man United's defensive half, Onana's on the ball. Kobe Mainoo is the one offering that option to the middle now, not Casemiro. They've probably caught that Casemiro is a liability playing it through the middle like that, so they've shaken it up. But we have an offside call. And I think it's Everton's ball here at 33 minutes and 15 seconds. So Pickford on the ball here. One of these long free kicks to the back post, comfortably won by, I think it was Casemiro. And now they're darting through against us defensively. Garnacho on the ball. Running through the middle. Another penalty? Come on, Everton. Godfrey shaking his head in disgust. Decore looking outraged. From a distance, until I see this back, that looked like a really obvious penalty. So Garnacho running at pace. Yeah. I'm not sure what people were doing. James Garner and Onana did not commit, and Godfrey studded the trailing foot by Garnacho. A clear and obvious penalty, which is really frustrating. And Emma, I feel that sentiment. The real question, though, and I'm not sure if you guys agree on, and maybe my view was controversial, but did you guys honestly think that we shouldn't have had a penalty against Mikalenko as well? We've been looking more dangerous, and then just holes defensively or these little slip-ups. Yeah, and the Blues, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think if Coleman was in that position, I'm not sure he would have made that tackle, because the other two players knew exactly what to do, challenge and push him wide. And that was Garner and Onana did exactly the same thing. And honestly, that's what Godfrey should have done, but he looked naive in the tackle. So Rashford coming in to strike, and a comfortable 2-0 victory, or 2-0 lead, let's call it. But it feels like that's the 3 points set already at the way this is going. And Rashford pointing at his head. I guess he needs to get out of his own head. But what's Pickford to do? He's doing the same celebration of Rashford saying, "Look how smart I am. I can pay attention and ignore the noise, use my brain." But Pickford's using the same thing to say, "Think about this, guys." Really poor tackle from Godfrey. Every time we verse United, he's looked exposed. We talk about the bigger pitch, or I do anyway, that the United pitch is a little bit bigger than Goodison, and that sometimes has an impact. But the other thing to remember, and I'm sure we'll go back on a match preview or review later, that whole counterattacking opportunity came from a free kick to Everton. So we wasted an opportunity. We have a corner, by the way, but we wasted another opportunity right there, where we had a free kick, and our rest defense was so poor that they had an excellent counterattack with someone with pace, and we were not positionally in a position to challenge that person running. We're all flat-footed, and all you need is one person to dangle out a leg and foul, and we're down 2-0. That happens too much for Everton. Anyway, back post, on near post, sorry. Headed out and recovered by McNeil. A little dink and chip. Almost again. We're always 1 foot too slow. But compared to some of these other weeks, we are doing the right kind of attacking play, but it's just not working. Yeah. The Blues, I think that's partly right. I think there's probably a little bit more nuance that I'm going to have to think about on that point, because you are right, but there's something else to it. If we lose the ball, who is counteracting on a turnover, or how are we turning the ball over? Because that was the entire team outside of 3 players on that turnover that they got the second penalty from. Now, the bailing out of trouble right now, it's only been Garnacho that's really turned them out of trouble. It's actually bringing me back to what Eze was able to do against us, where we weren't sure how to handle him, and there was lots of penalty shouts against Branthwaite and some others. So, and I like Emma's emojis here. You can't make it up, and we look decent, yet we I think that's bottling or ballsing it up. But yeah, we have looked the better side, except we don't have someone that can have the delicate tackle to not knock over a Garnacho that's going to fall over like a ton of bricks, but he does have the ball. He touches the ball first, and someone touches him after he moves the ball out of position. Of course, the referee's going to call it at United. We have no reason to think there are unjustified penalties on a match like this. We have to be better defensively on when to commit to put a foot in, unfortunately. And yes, we would love to have a player like that. Garnacho hasn't looked this good all season, but he's getting assist after assist for being tackled and falling over rather than having to do his bicycle kick brilliant like he did against us at Goodison. We have the ball now at 39 minutes 10. McNeil going through the middle. Harrison providing a wide option out right. Does he use him? Not yet. McNeil took too long to release that ball. So ball coming back down to us. We have James Garner to Amadou Onana through the middle to Doucouré. First touch back to Godfrey. Godfrey to Doucouré. Looked in a little awkward on lunging for that. Back to Godfrey. Onana, quick touch to Doucouré. The passing from Onana has gotten better in the last few weeks. And I don't know what Harrison was doing there. I know I've been crediting back post, but if none of our players are there, you can't just hit it wildly and hope that's going to work, unless that was the plan, because that was really kind of brain dead from him. I'll credit back post when anyone's nearby, but you can't just go to back post when other options are on. That's also called thinking critically with what your passing options are and having, either crossing or passing and moving dynamism in your team. And Harrison looked really poor there. Onana doing a long goal kick, won by McTominay against Branthwaite. He's not winning all the headers today. Mikalenko on the ball, getting double teamed. And thank you everyone for the watch along. It looks like we have 180 watching live, which is fantastic. And please feel free to put all your frustrations and comments in there. I will try to interact. I've been more venting and frustrating about tactics in the last 5-10 minutes, but it's probably a little bit easier to do that rather than the play-by-play of United. But Onana has the ball right now. I'm at 41 minutes, and he's doing another long ball to Rashford. And are they going to call for another handball? Oh, it was offside. Okay. So these long balls, they were not working originally, and Man United have found a way to make them work for them. McNeil coming through the middle. Harrison playing central now. And getting pushed over by Lindelof, but the recovery ball from Onana to Harrison was good. He's put out to Doucouré, to Mikalenko. At least it was a first-time cross, but the quality wasn't good enough. Wait, that should be a foul, ref. How's that not a foul? Unless they called advantage, Casemiro studs up into the back of McNeil. That looked like a pretty dirty foul, honestly. That's the kind of stuff that Casemiro's been carded for a lot this year. I'm curious if they do a replay of it. So McNeil there, maybe not too much on it, but they looked like there was certainly contact. And that should be it's hard maybe for the line. Oh, the linesman got it. So it went through the heel of Evans. We have a corner to Everton. Overhit Onana, keeping nope. Overhit to the back post. Yeah. The Blues. The only silver lining, which is a very limited one. I'm just trying to get positives here. They're not all going to the front post right now, but that delivery is now getting overhit to the back post, and it's overhit when all of the Onana and Tarkovsky are in the back post, and if they're overhit by them, they're in the position where they can actually head it back into the danger area. So Ghana's now overhitting these. Maybe what we need is James Garner to run out of leg speed and to be knackered and try and do a long ball, and it'll naturally fall on the right spot. Yeah, and we didn't concede from it either, did we, the Blues? I guess what sad silver linings to say we're not down 3-0 at halftime when we've been the better team against a United squad that's only looked in any way. Oh, terrible pass there and turnover. Rashford on the ball here to Bruno. Deflected and recovered by Pickford. There've been some really shonky, poor passes to the middle from both teams, but Everton have not been as clinical, as dynamic on the turnover as United. No surprise, United have a better quality squad. They're actually stretched for depth more than we are, but we just don't have the composure, the skills, and the leg speed outside of maybe Beto to do it. Godfrey on the ball now on 43 minutes 53, taking too long, and go figure. Bruno Fernandes has got his tail up and blocking the cross around the halfway line. It's a throw in for Everton and pass it forward to Godfrey. Oh, come on, mate. That was really poor. He tried put his studs on the ball to try and control, and it went out. Yeah, I think the Blues lines of Branthwaite and Mikalenko are struggling right here. I'm seeing that too. I think I'm going to have to watch it back to see exactly how and why they're struggling. But I'm not sure if it's Garnacho, is it Rashford? Lindelof to Varane. And looking very much like it's going to be 2-0 here at halftime, Blues. But what we're not sure right now is how many extra minutes. There were a few penalty shouts and some injuries. I imagine we'll get about 3 minutes. And Mikalenko looking really poor here, giving the ball away against Garnacho. Tucked back in and a sliding challenge. VAR might look for this, but his arms were down. There are the United players hovering over Simon Hooper, wanting a third penalty. On the replay here, Garnacho was crossing it back in. Oh, how are they not caught? We're getting very lucky on these penalties because Mikalenko's arm is out away from his body. Not saying that they should be penalties, but the way they've been going this year, I have no idea. Everton could easily have had 4 penalties against us, and they're not being called. So maybe VAR is finally, yeah. Yeah, Emma, you're exactly right. I think we could easily be down 4-0 solely from penalties in this half. But yeah, the Blues, I think the questions here, the handballs have been called in our favor. The Garnacho passing a defender and a little bit of contact, knocking him over, and he rolls over on the floor, but he was there first and therefore deserves the foul. I suppose those have been called again for United. So handballs have gone our favor. The tackles have not on these 4 penalty shouts. 4 minutes of extra time. I am here at 46 minutes 20. So I suppose we'll have about 3 minutes more. Throw into Victor Lindelof. Kobe Mainu to Rashford. Oh, what's going on here? Taki switching off. Across from Casemiro, blocked by Onana. Out to Garnacho on the wide right. Hands up for an offside, but I'm not sure how that's possible. Garnacho coming in on his left to Casemiro, to Lindelof, and covered from Pickford. Yeah, there's some. I think the Blues has it right defensively. I don't think United are that good outside of Garnacho, but they're certainly making Everton look uncomfortable this entire match. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's after you give a penalty away, your confidence is rattled, let alone 4 opportunities. But Everton have just, I don't know. Even Pickford there was right at his hands, and it lands between his knees, and he holding it. Forgetting that expression where you hold the ball between your legs and you waddle. Is it like a duck? But yeah. Anyway, it went off his hands right through his knees, and he held on. But even Pickford's looking shaky. He's the one that tells everyone to be composed and yells at people for getting in position and to concentrate. And he's had a couple like that. We also had that Bruno Fernandes free kick that he handled, but he didn't read it too well initially. Tarkovsky looking really poor again. 3-on-1 and didn't release the ball. Going to Garnacho now at 48 minutes. 1-on-1 with the keeper. What's he going to do? Branthwaite on lucky but good recovery at ground level. Tackled it off Garnacho. Back to Everton now. McNeil's on the ball at 48 minutes 20. Mikolenko doing a crossfield pass to Godfrey and overhit. And honestly, I'm not sure why we have Godfrey in the pit on the field for his pace, and he did not run for that. He could easily have gotten to it. They're showing the replay here. That was an excellent recovery from Branthwaite, but the problem hasn't been, well, partly it's a recovery tackle, but it's are we overcommitting on the first movement by Garnacho? We just can't handle him today. He's been, if not man of the match. Okay, wait, chance for Ghana. Let's go, McNeil. And blocked. Maybe too readable. They might blow this for halftime. Well, hopefully, I'm trying to have enthusiasm here, Blues, but this is a very difficult result to handle right now. In some respects, Everton have looked dangerous up front, but we have looked incredibly shaky defensively. We have given up four potential penalties, in my view, and maybe a bit different than the Blues, but we could easily have had 4 penalties, or we've had 4 penalty shouts. Not all have gone for us, but not all have gone against us. And against Man United at Old Trafford, I'm honestly surprised we don't have more penalties against us today. There was a free kick that was an excellent strike from Bruno Fernandes. Pickford appeared to have seen it late, and it was saved, but it was one of those where he's going across his body and has to recover it. So potentially Pickford could have done better with it, but you still have to give credit for the diving save. For the penalties themselves, I'm not sure much could have been done from Pickford's side. What I'm going to do here is pull up some stats on SofaScore to go over what the ratings are and some of the high level statistics. But the summary of this, as I pull it all up, we have been not good enough on our transition. The second goal, I think, was perfectly fitting to the problems we're having right now, where we got a opportunity for us to score a goal. We had a free kick. We had everyone go up forward, very similar to the one that Jared Branthwaite scored a couple weeks ago against Brighton, where we had all of our players up front, and we just give the ball away cheaply. And Garnacho has too much leg pace, and he's too fancy-footed, too fast, and our players just can't handle it on the counterattack. So really frustrating. But from open play, Everton have not let them score. They have had some opportunities that we have just about handled, but we have also given away penalties from open play. So at the same time, I'm not sure we should be happy with Everton's defense from open play either right now. So let me do this halftime ratings, and I'll bring this up, and then when I have that up for us to look at, we can talk to some of the other key pieces here, like some of the high-level statistics. So let me add an overlay. Halftime ratings. So this is what we have, Blues at halftime. So as we've been saying, we're looking better in the midfield. We're not converting, but having the right kind of play. But defensively, we look like a shambles. I think Tarkovsky has had a shocker of a first half. Branthwaite has not looked his usual England. He's the next big thing. Sell him for 100 million. He should play for England. Type of comments we're used to hearing. That's certainly not what I'm seeing so far. So some other things to bring up from that first half. At the very beginning of the half, I think we were looking quite good when they were confident or attempting to play it through the middle, where they would have a center back through their center backs going kind of widening out to the 18-yard box, and then and then Casemiro would come through the middle as their number 6 receiving the ball. They would turn it over a whole lot. Then what they did, if they did go through the middle, they switched it up, going through, instead of Casemiro, through Kobe Mainoo. And what happened then was Andre Onana started crossing the ball long. For a little while there, defensively, we were able to handle those long balls. Ben Godfrey, Mikalenko, Branthwaite were all and even Tarkovsky were comfortably winning it. But the problem became, by doing enough long balls, they were finding gaps where we were out of position, and that's where their counter-attacking kind of formation came in. So if we wanted to go back, and it is kind of interesting seeing how the lineup changed from what they said it was. So prior to the match, if we quickly swap here, this is what the setup they said was going to have and where they've ended up according to SofaScore by the end. So we also thought Rashford would be playing as the number 9 or the false 9, but we've noticed that Garnacho has gone out to the wide right a lot, but they've moved around their front 4 the whole time. So the way that SofaScore set this up at halftime is that they're a front 4 that basically move around as however they please. Evans and Varane swapped sides, and Mainoo and Casemiro have stayed put. I think the yellow card for Doucouré was from complaining that Ben Godfrey's wasn't a penalty when it clearly was. So I'll load up some other statistics, but the high level features here, we were looking really promising at the beginning with a high press. They changed how they brought it out from the back, but Everton was still looking dangerous. We have been delivering the ball, not always early, but a lot of the time we're giving early balls to their players. Let's see if I can sneak my head in here. Okay, so the other piece of this, I may have snipped out the who's who on the stats here, but I suppose we can. Does it show goals? I think on the left side was United. So they're having a little bit more of the ball, but we're actually having a lot of shots, not always on target. We have actually had a lot of corners, but unfortunately, they're all going to James Garner. And although they're not all going to the front post, his back post crosses have been overhit. We have some big players set up on the back post. The problem has been, if you're overhitting to the back post, it's still not that useful. They'll probably have a comedy replay later where they show Tarkovsky. He leans back, hits his head, and he does a backflip. So one of Emma's points here. Oh wait, there we go. Worried about talks with this reality show. Look what's happened to Dom when he started modeling. And maybe that's it, but honestly, there's so many. Having a distraction from the pressures of playing at this level, I'm sure in a way helps them, but for anyone in a professional role, they say your home life and your work life are linked, but honestly, we're all given that advice to turn it off once you walk in the door, to not worry about home. Maybe that happens, but I can't imagine once you're on a football pitch, you get too distracted with all the extracurricular activities. At least for me, all I would be worried about is the crowd, all the moving pieces right in front of you. So Stu's thinking right now to go to a back 3, and I have heard various other YouTube groups, I think Toffee TV in particular, talking about going to a back 3. I've been kind of calling out this idea for a while, where you actually, and I think I sent it to Chad midweek, but I was saying that what you would end up having is maybe Coleman as a right centre back or Mikolenko as the left centre back. So you'd have Branthwaite, Tarkovsky, and either Coleman or Mikolenko as the wide centre back on their preferred foot. And if it's on the left side, bringing Mikolenko in, then what you would have is McNeil taking that left wing back position. Or if we want to keep McNeil up higher, then that's when you bring in Patterson to that right wing back position. And then you have the coverage and the maturity and of Coleman to handle it. So I've thought about that too. And then the question becomes, who do you take out in the midfield to pull that off? In terms of watching, we have 238. So for everyone watching, thank you. It's misery loves company on a match like today. But for those watching, if you're enjoying this and you want to see more coverage on these watch-alongs or any of the other coverage that we're doing here at Follow Everton, please like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow. It helps have my microphone, the camera that you're seeing here have certainly improved. It looks like Ryan might be joining us, but from a like and subscribe standpoint, your guys' coverage and watching with me now is fantastic and helps us grow. But at the same time, just watching the channel helps. But if you do like, it gets more feed and traction. Subscribing means you get the pop-ups when these happen live. If not, it's based on an algorithm to anticipate what you like for the week. Maybe there's maybe you're watching something like a film channel on watchmojo.com. Maybe you're really into politics stuff. Maybe you're into woodwork, whatever it is, the algorithm changes all the time. So depending on what you're watching that week, maybe your Follow Everton content won't come online unless you're actually subscribed. And then it'll always come up as, hey, by the way, it's Chris from America. It's Chad from America. It's Robbie and Wes on the pre-match. It's Ryan tagging along on a post-match rant with Chris and Basil here in a bit. The best way to be able to show you get all the content with us is to subscribe, and it helps us grow, helps a viewership for those to see what we're doing here. So please be involved there. So if I hide that and I quickly hide my face, you can follow us through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So going through some more comments. Yeah, to Ryan's point there. I guess he saw what I was saying and decided not to double up, but he is at the match. So if he does call in, we may have some live emotions and deflation from the match. But if not, why don't we quickly go back to some stats during the halftime? So we're talking, yes, yellow cards too for Everton. I forgot what the Onana one was. I think that may have been the free kick that Bruno Fernandes took. But high level, I think the problems we're having are going to be all related to the likes of Alejandro Garnacho. Oh, actually, just honestly, their front four. Dallows looked okay on the overlap, but the pace, and it's weird to say pace from McTominay, but they have some pacey. Their front four has pace. Branthwaite has it. I'm not sure what's happened to him today, but he's looked really uncomfortable on the ball a lot. Ben Godfrey is not sure when to put a foot in. And to me, Alejandro Garnacho has been the man of the match. Bruno Fernandes has had a penalty and a really well-struck free kick that probably get his rating up there at, I think, 7.6. They haven't looked that good at the back. We've been able to win the ball a lot from them. So really the question becomes, if we start winning the ball back too much, we know what they did in the first half. They decided to, we're not going to risk it anymore. We're going to go long and try and expose Everton. And then they started doing passes to the middle again. So if we do come to a situation where we're winning the ball back a lot, we need to convert those opportunities and fast. What I was also noticing is McNeil. I want to be positive about improvements. I'm seeing improvements, but the finishing product again is just not doing it. Let's say on the left side, he was having some crosses that were actually really well placed to the back post. He struck a couple that were pretty good, but it's almost you're right. Sort of those the when you pass the ball low on the ground and a darting cross, they didn't work. But those are the kind of ideas. Releasing the ball early is going to do that. So my internet might be having some technical issues here. So if I do cut out, apologies. So I'll try. If I do cut out, just hang with me here. It looks like my network is back. Um, so to the Blues' point, I generally feel that too. He may not be a true finisher, but if he does get the odd worldie, part of that is going back to the statistic here of this guy. So if we are striking the ball 11 times, 2 on target, if we're having those pot shots from outside the box, there are opportunities for us to score. The problem has been if you're asking for a once in a blue moon worldie, you're asking for what? 1 in 30 opportunities, maybe, if that's what your once in a blue moon stat is. So you're not we need someone else or a different avenue of goal to rely on. We can't just hope that he's going to be the one that scores. Beto hasn't been as effective as I thought he would be today, but there have been a few chances where they've done those diagonal passes, and the Branthwaite was the one in this case who carried the ball through the middle rather than passing and hoping and relying on either James Garner or Onana or Doucouré to pass it and feed it to Beto. He did it himself, but it was timed just wrong enough that the ball it didn't get to Beto correctly, and it was an offside. But that's going to be the way I think. And at 2-0 down, I don't see much of a hope. This was my predicted scoreline, so we'll see if we can hold it at 2-0. But we need to find either a way to release the ball earlier or, release the ball earlier on our flanks or timing passes through the middle a bit more effectively. But both teams, it'll be interesting to see what we do because we were not able to handle them. But we are at kickoff here again, so let's go. And it looks like a false kickoff, and Pickford trying to show that he can juggle about as well as I could. I can only do about 5, 6, 7, and I was really proud of myself for thinking I was skillful. But anyway, the kickoff is a reset here, going long to Beto. Won the header to go to Victor Lindelof. Passing into the middle. McTominay winning the ball, but going to Tarkovsky. Now it's back at the halfway line. Branthwaite passing back to Pickford. Decided not to go the Mikolenko route. Doing another long diagonal, but we do have space here. First touch was a bit sloppy from Godfrey, but he is going back post. Okay, again, right kind of idea. It's a little bit too weak where the ball died right in Onana's hands, but those kind of opportunities are what we're looking for. But McTominay was trying to do a quick break and overhit the pass. So this is going to be a really open second half already, I'm feeling. I have a bad feeling by the way this is going, and I guess at this point, we have goal difference on our relegation rivals. If we play an open match, maybe we get a goal. But there is certainly the risk, by the way we've started the second half, that we could go down and lose 5-0 by the way we were defending the first if we're not careful by being this open. But heck, we don't have the points right now. I can't. If we play too closed shop, we're not going to get a goal. So the only way we have a chance of nicking a point is by rolling the dice. But the Vegas odds are not in our favor, if you're asking me. But they never really are. The house always wins, and the house right now is at home at Old Trafford. I'm at 46 minutes 30. McNeil on the ball, back to Mikolenko, to James Garner, to Branthwaite, Onana. James Garner decided to go back to Pickford. So the other thing that's been really interesting, they're actually closing us down quite effectively in the middle here. So a lot of energy through McTominay, Mainu, Garnacho to close us down pretty fast. James Garner to Mikalenko. And now, that's the idea was good there for Mikalenko, but he tucked in too much on his left foot and he decided to use his left when he should have used his right and overhit a pass to the middle and has exposed us. Garnacho in on goal and, offside. So looking dangerous there. Very quickly, all we need is Collis King, your comment here about Kobe Mainu looking shaky. I think honestly that both of their central midfielders look shaky in different ways. Mainu is young, raw, has some excellent moments, but is going to give the ball away too. But Casemiro is just looking more and more leggy each match. But he has grown into this fixture a little bit. His first 15 minutes were terrible, but he's looked a little bit more composed. That was a nice touch from McNeil there from one of the diagonal crosses from Pickford. Doucouré winning the ball now, passing through the middle to Harrison. He's got a wide right option in Godfrey. He uses him. First time. Oh, Godfrey, that's terrible. Was it a back post? Was it a strike? Was it a near post? Usually you say you're in two minds. I think Godfrey was in like 6s and 7s minds there. That was just shocking. It was in the right channel, but no one was there. Oh, okay. So sorry about that. Manu, not Manu. Very similar verbiage on shorthand. So yeah, they are looking shaky, but I think we knew this coming in that there's certainly opportunities, and that's why I thought there was a chance that we could actually nick a point. Not saying it was likely, but they're not excellent, but they have the players and the skill to do what Everton can't do. Look edgy enough to get penalties, and guess what? We were screaming for a penalty last week. We got one. We couldn't score it. They've should have gotten 4 penalties in that first half, which is a ridiculous statement. But they had 2 and they scored 2. It's a throw-in right now at 14 minutes and 20 seconds on my clock. So if you guys want to watch along with me, that's my time. So I'll go through that as the fixture goes along to match it. But if you want to watch along on your TV and you can't pause, rewind, more than welcome to listen along at whatever time and just expect a slight audio delay from my live watch along. Bruno Fernandes trying to do a quick counterattack, but under hit and covered by Mikalenko's header right there. Garner to McNeil. Oh, that Bruno, you have to give credit where credit's due for trying to tackle, but then he just manhandled him and pulled both hands on him, and then his fellow United players are looking at him going, "What are you doing, mate?" And he kind of goes, "What am I to do? I can't tackle for shit." So they're showing coverage of the bench. Coleman, Ashley Young, and Keane not looking too impressed. It almost looks like Sean Dyche has more sniffles than I do, but then again, he is out there in the cold. I think there's that free kick that we're talking about that I just had a chuckle on from Bruno is going to be taken here in a minute or so. It looks like it's going to be another James Garner one or Harrison. Oh, they're doing a little dance. Harrison passes it over to McNeil, cross into the back post. And Doucouré. Oh, okay, that was close. That was a much better delivery this time. It actually went to the right spot on the back post where we actually get Tarkovsky was able to get his head on the ball, and it went right to Doucouré. And Doucouré shouldn't feel too upset about it. That was unfortunately blocked. That happens, but it was exactly what we want to see. The delivery was well weighted for once. It wasn't under hit. It wasn't over hit. And able to utilize the aerial prowess of Tarkovsky. Today, it's not about the leg speed of Tarkovsky. It's all about the heading prowess. So that strike from Abdoulaye Doucouré was blocked by the inner right thigh of Scott McTominay. And anyway, we have the ball back. Branswaite looking comfortable on the ball, taking on Bruno, but now he's got a man on. Recovers okay, back to Mikalenko, looking for the wide option, and McNeil tucks it into James Garner in the middle. Another 2-step touch to Doucouré, who's trying to take on Varane with no success. Varane looking really confident there. Now Kobe Mainoo on the ball through the middle to Casemiro, releasing the ball out wide left to Bruno, and then back to Lindelof. Back to, I think it's Mainoo on the left now. Rashford with a heavy touch and recovered by James Garner, who went down, but we have a counter-attacking opportunity until Decore just overhits with a horrible touch. I wonder if they're going to kick the ball out here. I thought James Garner looked injured, but they're passing the ball around. It looks like Garner's up, but he's hobbling. So we'll see how if he can shake that off. Scott McTominay on the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Back to Johnny McEvans. To Kobe Mainoo. McTominay back to Evans. To Diego Dallo via Varane. Through the middle to Casemiro, who's playing that kind of false six, or that option to get out the back four. The other thing that's a little bit disappointing here, I guess it's where do you put your energy in? But we're not closing them down, playing out from the back with anywhere near as much vigor as we did at the start of the match. Looks like Evans charging through the middle to Bruno. He's got a wide right option. Mikalenko nowhere near Garnacho, who's in on goal and overhits it. I know that's the Dice style to say play a compact four, but that's giving a lot of space out on that wide side where Alejandro Garnacho is looking quite the danger man. He's got pace, a lot of room to burn, and lucky for us, he hit it over the bar. So some more Blues commentary here. Nearly all our attackers coming to one of Decore, McNeil, or Harrison, and that's where our attack breaks down. Yes, I think the other thing we need to do is, can we bring James Garner, progress him up the pitch a bit more? His crosses haven't been excellent, but he does have that ability, and he does have the ability to pass. I'll quickly go back to the match. Beto winning the opportunity here in the box, but double teamed and tackled, still holding the ball though. And looks like Casemiro he's starting to work his way into this match and winning that tackle to Bruno Fernandes, to McTominay, and looks like another counter-attacking option. And heavy touch by Scott McTominay there. Rashford couldn't do anything with it, so it's back to Pickford. Now coming out on that right side, to Ben Godfrey, to Jack Harrison, to Decore, to Harrison, to James Garner, to Taki. I'll get back to your point here in a minute, the Blues, because I think that's certainly relevant. Bransford on the ball to wide left, where we have McNeil cutting into the middle, but not much going. He's got it to James Garner, who's swapped to the right central midfield position, where Onana's now playing on the left. Maybe trying to help the combination play between Harrison and Godfrey, because it's been shocking. Onana, a dink over the top, but heavily hit. Looks like we're not to the Blues' comment. We're certainly not bringing on the kids. Yeah, changes are ready. I guess credit to Dice where it's due. Like right now, we actually have an opportunity where we are going to bring on DCL here in a minute, and it looks like Andre Gomez. So the question is for who? I would take off Decore because he definitely looks a little sore running around. And Beto hasn't had that much of an impact. So we'll see if that comes into it. And again, we have 258 listeners going on live. So again, thank you, everyone. And please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, to have more, to basically get updates for this live content when it does come out. So we're getting some players ready, but they haven't shown who's coming on yet. So I'm at 56 minutes 10, a goal kick to United, and a long ball from Andre Onana. A pretty good first touch from Lindelof into the middle. McTominay charging through. Godfrey backing off and not taking him on, just keeping his line. Going to Bruno Fernandes, to McTominay, back to Mainoo. So they're looking to switch it up and now expose Mikalenko on that right side via Evans to Diego Dallo, but nothing doing, so they're backing off again. Dallo to Casemiro, and Dallo back on the ball, all the way back to Onana. So that's a positive sign that we they weren't breaking us down, but it's never about when we're ready for them. It's these transitional moments that we really struggle. Alejandro Garnacho kind of playing in as a false nine for a minute, giving it to Varane. Varane's got an option in Casemiro and Mainu. Oh, sorry, and Rashford, and chooses Rashford. So where does Varane go now? Another quick ball through the middle, but a poor first touch. Hands up in the air by Garnacho, but he gave it away. Harrison now, does he cross early? No, he takes on one, not two, to McNeil. And does he strike? Beto, do you strike? Nope. Doucouré, do you strike? Yes, on target, but near post. As I said on that call with Chad last week, if we're going near post, that ball's always going out, and we have no second chance opportunities, and that's exactly what happened. But on that side, it was kind of hard to go far post. I think it was potentially blocked by United. So United have the ball with Kobe Mainu, but we are pressing again with more vigor, and we are winning the ball back as a result. Jared Branthwaite on the ball right now, and 57 minute 50 for me. Amadou Onana with a chip pass to James Garner out on the left wing. First time to McNeil, to Onana, to Mikalenko, back to James Garner. There's I'm not going to call it cowardice, but there's a lack of confidence in Mikalenko to want to cross the ball. If he had any of the crossing prowess of McNeil, we'd have quite a player right there, but he's moving himself into the right progressive position. He's just doing nothing with that positionally other than he's not giving the ball away, which is something, but it's just not. We want more from that position. Jack Harrison taking on a couple players, and this time unsuccessful. It looks like Rashford winning the ball back to Varane through the middle, and now Onana. I'm at 58 minutes and 45 over here. So the Blues, I generally agree with you. I think the other component, though, if we don't take an extra touch out on the wide positions, we do have those opportunities. And looks like there was a close opportunity there from Alejandro Garnacho. With the right angle, his haircut looks a bit like an animal rug, actually. Not sure why that just came to me. They're showing a replay there of James Garner's injury, or where he went up for a header and basically went up and over McTominay and landed quite funny. There was another one of these counter-attacking options. I think Everton generally had it covered, but Bruno maybe slightly overhit it, and Garnacho wasn't able to do much with his right foot. So it looks like there's some changes coming up. So we have 3 changes. Supposedly, it looks like the coverage over here, it's showing at least Andre Gomez and DCL, but potentially Dobbin as well. So when we get to that point in my match, I will go over the changes. I am now at exactly the hour mark at 60 minutes. Dwight McNeil coming through the middle. Going to Pickford with a long hoofball that was overhit. Godfrey couldn't do much with it. He one arm up to say thank you, but it was overhit. So Doucouré is coming off for Andre Gomez. I think that's the right call at 2-0 down. So the Blues, I think, right on with that. Let's save that dodgy knee and hamstrings. He hasn't looked good enough. Beto coming off for DCL, and now the question is, who is Dobbin coming on for? Is it going to be McNeil? I think he's been okay. I'd imagine it's Harrison, but let's see. They're showing a disappointed Harrison, so we have Dobbin for Harrison. I imagine on the right wing, a straight swap for DCL in the number 9 position, either through feed or the way this game has gone. It hasn't really worked out well for Beto today. And we have a third midfielder taking on Abdoulaye Doucouré spot in Andre Gomez. So we'll see how the midfield shakes up here in the next few minutes. So in the ball, we have Varane back to Evans. DCL should have enough legs to chase. So at the moment, a noticeably slower or 60% jog Andre Gomez with the long sleeves and gloves on is playing in that number 10 position. So we'll see how that goes. I think he's got the composure that a lot of our players lack to execute the right ball. But then it's a matter of him being in the right position. Another counter-attacking opportunity for Man United through Bruno Fernandes to Garnacho, and covered by James Garner. Man on. Dalot takes on McNeil and causes a turnover. A really fancy little touch by Garnacho. That was excellent. Dalot to Fernandes, blocked by Branthwaite. Gomez is in there with Mainu. Garnacho crossing to Bruno, who's taking a strike. And just enough. It looked like it was a subtle deflection. Pickford about to yell at someone, but realizes all his players were in the right position. And he likes giving himself credit, so he held himself back to get the credit he wanted. But that strike looks like it was deflected off the left inner part of the knee by James Garner, and Pickford had it covered. And Pickford talking to Onana about something, but does that really surprise you that Pickford has something to say? I think he would be an excellent, after he retires, maybe he can join Follow Everton and do match content with me. I think he would have a lot of color commentary, and he would never give a moment's silence, which is excellent. Short corner. Oh, that was really close. And Johnny Evans having an old man bro moment where he was just elbowing Pickford in the chest after he covered that. That was a scary, sloppy ball at the near post that went through about 4 Everton players. Lindelof trying to knock it forward and just covered enough, but it went past Tarkowski, Lindelof, and Evans trying to get on the ball, and they got a toe to it. Pickford off his shin. That was quite close. But optimism, not aplenty, but it's only 2-0 to Man United here at 63 minutes and 40. The first half was equally as open as the second half, I believe. The main difference being that we have not given away any penalties and no penalty shouts so far. Everton have had a couple good chances. There was an opportunity by Dwight McNeil that just went wide. But outside of that, it's been a lot of corners and not converting our opportunities. But both teams are giving the ball away a lot. Both teams like to kind of be a counter-attacking side, which does add to the spectacle of lots of turnovers, lots of teams being out of position, but no one able to convert. The main difference right now, in my view, is Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho in particular are quite clinical today. Rashford is a bit clumsy. McTominay's been okay, but he has had moments where he's just overhit the ball, but he has looked dangerous. We have the ball again now at 64 minutes 35. Gomez coming in on the ball. Is he going to strike it? No, he goes out wide to Dobbin. What's Dobbin going to do? Takes on Lindelof, and a bit of a premature knock, a little bit too close to Lindelof, who knocks it out for a corner. So this time it'll be on the right side of the goal, so it'll allow for an in-swinger that isn't from James Garner, and it's going to be taken by Dwight McNeil. So I think the Blues, you might be a little bit further ahead of me. I'm still at the corner here at 65 minutes and 5 seconds. A deep one to the back post. One by Tarkowski. One by Godfrey, and then cleared. Garnacho went on the ball here. Mikalenko winning the header. Onana winning the ball, and a very clumsy, poor challenge from Victor Lindelof. If he's not careful, that should be a yellow for head contact. So the Blues, I'm finally caught up with you. I guess you're about 30 seconds ahead from me. But as you're saying, we're in a promising position for that free kick here. So Onana was comfortably shielding the ball. I'm not sure what Lindelof thought. Unless he has quite the leap, I'm not sure how he's going to try and move past it. Onana shielding the ball when he's in the right position. Knowing that Gomez is quite the striker of the ball, I think this is the opportunity for us to make inroads, but it's either going to be Dwight McNeil or Andre Gomez. So, do we have Andre Gomez's confidence or the slight resurgence in form for McNeil that hasn't had a finished product to it? We'll see. Looks like Andre Gomez backing up here at 66 minutes, 20 seconds on my clock. And he's going for the strike and doesn't beat the wall. Straight on the forehead of one of the 4 United defenders in that wall. But Tarkowski winning the recovery ball at the halfway line, throws it back to Pickford. Now a long diagonal to the left side, won by Dalot. recovered after the header by Garner, now in the feet of Mikolenko to Andre Gomez. So Gomez is looking confident on the ball, which is helping our build-up play. We'll give credit there. I think this match is better suited right now for Gomez than Decore. Dwight McNeil on the ball to Onana, to Gomez. Is he crossing? Nope. Tucks onto his left. Pass to Onana. And kind of partially blocked. So it goes back to Tarkovsky, to Branthwaite. Now turned on to Onana turns. Here we go. Oh, okay. That was better. We talk about the little pirouettes that we want to see from DCL when he's got confidence. He made that turn, but it was, I think, I didn't see which centre half marked him, but they got a foot to it. And then Dobbin went for the first time strike, which you love to see. But unfortunately, as we've seen all day, a lot of our players that aren't Dwight McNeil have not even struck the ball on target. We've had, I think it was Mikolenko, there was Amadou Onana and Harrison all missing the target with goal opportunities where they're just angled up and over the bar. So we're not getting on top of the ball when we're striking it for the most part. And the same case for Dobbin. But you've got to give, it's weird to say credit because we're not scoring, but it's at least promising that we're giving ourselves these, we're in these positions to strike the ball and we're not holding on the ball too long for them to block us, because we either releasing the ball, we're striking it too early and not converting our opportunities, or we're taking a little bit too long to be sure about it because we are lacking the confidence, and then United shut us down. The ball is with Scott McTominay covered and Onana falling down like a ton of bricks. Maybe finally a yellow card for McTominay for many little tackles throughout the match. So McTominay is in the book for United. I think he's the first for them. Onana is looking quite in some pain. If we look back at this, I'm not sure that it was that painful, but then again, I haven't been a professional footballer to feel what a contact in the back is from Scott McTominay, but Onana's certainly on the ground for a bit. I know he has came back from injury. I forgot what his injury was, so maybe this agitated it, but it's a good stop in the play here. So right now I'm at 69 minutes and 15 seconds. United are up 2-0 at Old Trafford against Everton. For those watching, thank you. We have, looks like 278 people watching live. Those that haven't already, like and subscribe, help us grow the channel, help more people who are interested in live Everton content to come here throughout the match, where we talk throughout the match, we talk through halftime to give my views and analysis. And yeah, it also helps us grow the channel. So please, if you want to be involved, like and subscribe. Diego Dallo is back on the ball now at 69 minutes 53 on the right fullback position. Rolled it back to Casemiro. Looks like it's now with Evans, who's going to do a cross-field pass to the wide option in Rashford with the overlapping Bruno, not utilized. Oh, it was McTominay, sorry, but not utilized. Mainu on the ball to Varane. Varane back to Onana. And kind of like how Brighton does it, where they put the studs on the ball and play the come at me, bro. They did that, but Everton weren't buying it. So we have a press right now that's pretty weak, lazy, lackadaisical. I'm not sure what you want to call it, between Andre Gomez and DCL. The leg speed to actually close it down is one part, but positionally, are they in the right spot? I guess so. We just won the ball back from that. So credit where credit's due. They're showing a very old-looking Gary Oldman there in the crowd today with dark sunglasses and hair slicked back. Not showing the color red, so maybe he's not a United fan. I'm not sure. For those that know more about celebrity following, I know Sylvester Stallone here in the States is an Everton fan, but not sure who Gary Oldman supports other than wanting to watch a match with, looks like, about 73,000 people in attendance. Foul given to Kobe Mainu here at 71 minutes in United's defensive half by Lewis Dobbin. Dobbin's has a lot of energy, but he hasn't had any product so far. So that'll be quite interesting. One down on the chest by Godfrey. And cleared up the field, but blocked comfortably by Scott McTominay. So another throw in. From what Stu's saying here, once I catch up with you in time, it looks like we may have Ashley Young coming on. I would have to hazard a guess that it's either through injury for um, Godfrey or Mikolenko, or just to give the mindset and ego of one of those two struggling players today a bit of a rest. So we'll see. But I'm actually more worried about Ashley Young coming in if he's coming into fullback against Garnacho. I think he'll get red carded after 2 yellows in about 10 minutes. But we'll see. The trying to be optimistic here. At 72 minutes 15, Rashford passing the ball back. Branthwaite's on the ground, so they may kick it out of bounds. Let's see. No, they're just waiting for him to get up to play. So I guess some sportsmanship there from United, to credit to him. Stu's thinking we should take Godfrey off. I think that would be the option, but I guess the question, Stu, do you really think it wouldn't take them long to either put Garnacho or who is it again? Scott McTominay out in that position? I'm not sure if that would actually, would the leg speed of Ashley Young be good enough? He doesn't have the tackling prowess of these Everton are having lots of attacking opportunities, but very much like United, we're giving we have the effort, we're crossing into the right general areas, but the product is just poor. Okay, so interesting. So supposedly it's for James Garner. What I would hope to see then is McNeil coming into the middle. He's already kind of been doing that. Maybe what they do is they drop if we drop Andre Gomez back into more of a deep line playmaker to pass the ball through the middle and have McNeil as the number 10, and then you can alternate between Dobbin and McNeil in the 10 versus the winger position. That could allow for more creativity while having Ashley Young play as the extra man in defense against wherever Garnacho's playing as the winger. So that could be interesting if that's what they do. Okay, the ball goes to Gomez, tucked into the middle. Mikolenko doesn't have a right foot, and we just saw that. Ball with Garnacho now. A tackle from McNeil. Garnacho wins the throw-in, and McNeil is not happy, but honestly, I don't think any Everton players should be happy. They won't be embarrassed right now, but they shouldn't be happy with how this match has gone either. Garnacho hasn't had that same impact darting through as it did in the first half, but he's certainly had some counter-attacking opportunities. It just hasn't been Everton making a daft challenge to knock him over when he changes direction right on the edge of the penalty box in this half. So Dallow's on the ball here at 74 minutes and 40 seconds. Crosses into the middle, won by Tarkovsky. Looks like McNeil's now playing in the number 10 slot. Maybe it's more of a V formation rather than a triangle for Everton's midfield three now, where you'll have Onana playing as the 6 with a pair of 8s in McNeil and, let's see, DCL to Dobbin, who's now on the left. Okay, first time cross, Mikolenko, let's go. And that's excellent. Back post. And Dobbin, oh! Okay. Well, I feel like I'm certainly a broken record. We're doing the right thing. We went to the back post, but we just can't score. So Dobbin couldn't get that ball on target. DCL did everything he could to dive and make contact with that, but to expect DCL, who he had just been hit in the head by the replay here, and then looked up, and Dobbin was on the ball. Maybe he should look up earlier and he would have got there, but he was hit in the head just before that moment. And the second he saw it, he was very quick to react, but not fast enough. But honestly, that's not DCL's fault. That's Dobbin for not being on target to me. So the Blues, you're saying McNeil and Gomez in the 10, right-footed Dobbin on the left. I'm not sure if Dobbin's actually a left footer. I know when I've played Football Manager, he seems to kind of bounce around on his preferred position. But I think what we need to do is have a lot of movement between, maybe not between Gomez, but in particular, I think we need to get wingers mixing and matching a little bit more. because Ashley Young is also quite well-footed. So Dobbin being right-footed on the left means he's going to tuck in. So that's what you're saying, the Blues. But Ashley Young is also, I suppose, is it ambidextrous when you can kick with both feet, but relatively good on both sides. He's not. I'm not going to say he's. I said, oh, that bicycle kick wasn't that bad from Onana. It's always funny saying Onana passes to Onana, but it wasn't enough venom to be a strike. Another attempt by Gomez there in the middle, but overhit. The counter attack has looked a little bit more punchless for the last 5 to 10 for United, which is maybe credit for Ashley Young now coming into the pitch on the right side, but positionally it's quite confusing who's playing where at the moment. We have the right and the left winger in McNeil and Young playing on top of themselves, and Gomez all just bunching up on that right side right now. I'm at 77 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm not saying there's no hope, but right now it's not looking like it's going to be Everton's day. It hasn't gotten worse since halftime. I think we've held down the fort. We tried to open up the match, and we've looked more dangerous without giving too many silly mistakes away. Sofiane Amrabat, the Moroccan, coming on for Kobe Mainu in the center of midfield. We'll see if that changes how they play. Amrabat's pointing at a bunch of people, so I imagine they're going to potentially play a little bit deeper. Looks like Amrabat is in the right central midfield position for right now, and Casemiro's in the left, so not much difference. DCL winning a pretty good header. And McNeil, that was just so sloppy. He could have taken a touch because Ashley Young was in there. Godfrey looks like he took out McTominay. So I'm not sure DCL could have done much more there. He won a really good header, but McNeil not having the composure, I think. I'm not sure what ambi pedal is. Maybe I have to Google that one. We're at 79 minutes here. A long ball from Andre Onana, and looks like they wiped out Tarkovsky in the process. But then again, when Tarkovsky wins a bunch of headers and then he falls down like a ton of bricks, it's he often wins that free kick. Dobbin against Garnacho, that's a fun matchup. Won by Dobbin, and coming out on the left, Amrabat trying to chase him down. Did just enough to not give away the free kick there from Amrabat. But Dobbin looking a little bit out-muscled. Possession-wise, quite even at 51 to 49%, which kind of matches how both teams are counter-attacking with lots of opportunities, but without much clinicianness in front of goal at the moment. So thank you for everyone following along. I think we're at 288 right now. So again, please like and subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for joining me on a eventful but uninspiring result here for Everton. I don't think we're getting any points, but it could be a whole lot worse by how we've played. So I guess that gives me 90 minutes of confidence after being down 1-0 after 10. McNeil coming in on the ball to DCL and overhit, but I'm not sure if that's on DCL or McNeil. McNeil's kind of hands up in the air looking at DCL going, what the hell? And now they're showing the Everton fans but either biting nails, hands on mouths, but it's more of a disappointed, boredom, not really sure how to get excited because we've been going forward, but we have not had a good strike on target for a while. Dobbin's chance was okay, McNeil's was okay, but for the amount of forward play, we just can't do anything with it. And, well, United showing that they're not great either right there. Evans did a pass back without looking. Onana wasn't expecting it. Oh, geez, that's terrible by Onana. He was just looking to get the ball, then he stumbled, decided he didn't want to fall over and look like a goof. So Everton have a corner. Looks like two back post from McNeil. And header one, and header saved. DCL won the header. Didn't do enough with it, in my opinion. So looked like he had to come in on the ball, so he didn't get his full head to it. It got more of his nose. But Rashford and Varane were not close enough to him. That was definitely an opportunity that he should be doing more with. He hit the target, but it's a sad state to say congratulations, we hit the target. That doesn't beat most goalkeepers, let alone You'd have to say world class if you're in the Premier League, and Onana's getting a lot better. He's quite a good shot saver, as long as he's not using his feet. He's quite okay with his hands. So if we're giving it right to his hands, what's the point in having 45 shots on target if we're not testing him? Because for the most part today, we have not tested him. Even when it's a diving save, he's just had to turn his body sideways to save it. So the danger man for them has really, I guess, ran out of steam in the second half, is getting subbed here at 82 minutes and 12 in Alejandro Garnacho. He has been subbed for, I'm not sure if Anthony is a first or last name, but the unpopular Me Too candidate in Anthony coming on here on the pitch. He caused a lot of problems last year against Everton, but that was when he actually had some form, when he was still fresh out from Ajax. But 0 goals and 0 assists in his 21 Premier League appearances this year, according to what the stats were showing me here on the screen. So I guess time to get his match fitness in. So I suppose same for Everton at this point. Unless we nick, if we score a goal here in the next 5, anything can happen. But resolute, but just not, still looking just so punchless from our side here. Dallo coming in, and Pickford did just enough. That could have gone anywhere, deflected, but lucky for us, Everton. Onana coming forward on the ball to Gomez. This is a chance right now for Everton. What do we do with it? Right wing, first time from Ashley Young, tucked in. Onana, shot from Dwight McNeil. To Dobbin. Onana out to Ashley Young. Back post. Let's go. So John Roberto, I couldn't agree with you more, and it's really struggling. I'm struggling to be positive on it because we've actually had some excellent chances we haven't converted, but at the same time, we're making them uncomfortable without converting at all when we're up in that position. So they're showing a replay here of Pickford. His clearance went straight into Dallo and spun right into the middle, so that could have been a lot more dangerous. So that was an interesting opportunity there when Ashley Young did a cross to the back post to Mikalenko. Mikalenko on Anthony is a matchup I'll take for Everton, but it went out for a goal kick. On the time here, we have 84 minutes and 25. Andre Gomez on the ball. Andre Gomez still holding the ball and thought he could take on 3 and pass it back to Mikalenko. It just about worked out. We want to throw in out of it, but that was lucky. Mikalenko back to Branthwaite. We're starting to move a lot of our players up the pitch. We're probably about to start doing a bunch of hoofball if we don't utilize our wingers. Godfrey doing a short diagonal under hit, though. And right to Varane. TCL challenging. Johnny Evans just looking like a decrepit old man falling over, but no foul given. Tarkovsky to cross it. No, to McNeil. What are you going to do with it now? Andre Gomez shielding the ball. Amrabat, a little bit of physical contact, knocks him in the back, and then says, well, he knocked my teeth. And it's like he was shielding the ball and the hand hit the face. That's always a tricky one. And when I played, and a lot of us others have played, having a hand to the mouth can be really one of those innocuous contacts where you can all of a sudden have your lip bleeding and you're spitting out blood, but it's it's an accidental challenge, you know. But that was certainly a foul for it that Everton won, was shielding from Gomez to back post, and Branthwaite not able to get there in time, and Onana anticipated it well. Onana's throw to Victor Lindelof. Rashford coming in on that left side. I think everyone's stopping because it looked offside and the flag must have gone up. Debbie, I think that's if you wanted to simplify it, that certainly will do it. Yeah, the amount of chances today, as John Roberto said, has been. It could be worse, but these are the kind of things that a good quality Premier League side should be doing more with. And there's some comments about Dyche, and yeah, that's certainly a component for Dyche, but the Everton players are just not able to convert when they have an open chance, and you can't blame. I'm not sure you can blame Dyche for that. There is a foul at 87 minutes here, going against Everton. Tarkovsky pretty adamant that he made contact there with the ball, and he used his shoulder, not his hands. But McTominay was in the goal side position, and Tarkovsky. I'm not going to repeat his words, but so I'm not sure, Emma, who in context are we saying about Dyche? Are we talking about some other tactics? Because yeah, on a match like today, I would blame Dyche in some respects for the second goal for United for being tactically not prepared to handle a turnover. Those are the kind of ones that you can really blame the manager. Some of our forward play, how badly we pass the ball in forward possession. I'm not sure. Can you blame a manager when a team can't do fundamentals? Maybe, but they paid a lot of money and should be able to do this. But it's been years now. Simple passes Everton can't pull off. They're subbing off Johnny Evans for Kambwala. I guess Evans has done his 88 minutes and is hobbling off. Yep. And if that's tying back into Emma's comment, yeah, we are toothless. And for everyone listening again, thank you. We're now up to 300 live, so really appreciate the support for our channel here at Follow Everton. And if you like the content we're doing, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in being a premium member, that's available through the YouTube app as well, or through the YouTube link on the computer. Dobbin winning the ball here on 89 minutes. And again, to the near post. If he went to back post, fine. But we win the ball back. Ashley Young, early cross. And here we have another corner. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to talk more about this in a minute, the Blues. Dobbin on the ball. Here, offside, was it? At least Gomez hit that ball on target and tested Onana. It's a sad state of affairs when I'm giving credit to the best strike of the day being on Gomez's weaker foot. Another cross. I will give credit for Ashley Young for actually putting the ball on the right spot. A lot of his crosses early in the year were just horrid. At least he's getting it to the right position with a good weighting on it. But again, just not enough. We have the numbers. We have the possession. We're a bigger team than United, and we just look punchless. It's just a deflating feeling right now. We're at 90 minutes. I imagine we've got about 4 to 5 minutes of stoppage time, not much more than that. It hasn't been a half with too many substitutions. Yep, okay, 4 minutes. So we're at 90 minutes 11 over here. To Emma's point, let me go find. So a poor manager in Dyche. Yeah. Certainly don't disagree, Emma. I think the real challenge is, even if we had a different manager, does a different manager right now get us the goals with the players we have? Maybe. But our lack of goal scoring has been a problem for a while. We went in spurts last year. Dyche was able to get some performance out of both DCL and McNeil, but we did do a bit of a flip tactically. But let's go on that in a few minutes here. The ball is out on United for the corner, and a comfortable shot cross in between two lines, and Pickford has the ball. Doing the whole, who do I pass it to? He's got no one. So he does a long dart to the midfield there, and a very acrobatic chest. It was so powerful, it knocked over the Man United Kambwala while he chested it. He basically winded himself trying to block that, I think. But yeah, the Everton away fans are starting to walk out of the pitch, and I don't blame them at all. Knowing that I live in the States, there's no way I would leave early, but that doesn't mean For those that have the ability to go to matches and are trying to beat 2 minutes of traffic and proud United fans after this winning result, just rubbing into the Everton away fans, maybe that's the right time to leave. So we're at 92 minutes here. Anthony we've got going through the middle. It looks like McTominay out wide on the left to Bruno, and covered by Oh, geez. That could have really backfired. That could have been another scoring opportunity right there.
Hello.
I've got about a minute left. You leave early.
A lot of people are, to be honest, even United fans. It might be time to kind of wrap things up whenever you're ready anyway and get that post-match on, but painful, mate, honest to God. United were fucking awful, and Everton were tragic in the moments where it really mattered, which was in both boxes.
Yep. Yeah, did you think but the penalties, do you agree that they should have been penalties? Because in my view, that we were lucky to not be down 4-0 on penalty shouts, honestly. I'm not sure if they showed the handballs, but Mikalenko got away with a couple in my view.
The defenders had a poor game, didn't they?
Yep.
I didn't see it live. They looked like clear penalties.
Yeah. Well, Mikalenko, he's getting up with his hands and they get his arms, So clearly it affected where the ball went.
The thing with me, I think Sean Dyche has lost belief. The players have lost a bit of belief there. The last 30 minutes, they just couldn't be asked.
So it looks like it might be 3-0 right here, Ryan. Oh, no. Okay. We're at about 20 seconds left. Did they call a penalty? Or was it? Okay, this could be. They called offside. Okay, the play stopped in the Everton defensive box there, and it's like, oh, this is fitting for 3-0. Yeah, I mean, did you see that many players looking dangerous? I see Garnacho being quite impactful for a while, and his legs died. McTominay was okay. Bruno was okay.
Hang on a sec. United weren't any good for me, not in my opinion. I didn't really see much of the threat. Wasn't particularly worried about what they were doing. I mean, they were getting us on transition. They were getting us on the counter attack. Yeah. They've got a lot of pace. But what you got to remember is Garnacho doesn't track back. Rashford doesn't track back. Yeah. So Ben Godfrey and Mikalenko had acres of time and space throughout the whole match, really, to get him behind. And we didn't use that pass well enough. And then when we did actually use that pass and get him behind United, we didn't. There was no end product with the cross. It was everything. We had to go across the box, but with 3 United players in the way of the ball, or had to go to above everyone to the back stick and out of play.
So like what we were screaming for all week was going to the back post. We did it, but then we didn't execute well to the back post either, did we? Not that often.
Not getting enough players forward into dangerous positions, and the end product. I think Dyche is a walking. Don't know what the word is, but I think he's on thin ice, possibly.
Yep.
Not that they didn't play badly, but I just think they need a bit of a boost. And this is very pacifist the way we're going now. We could quite easily end up not winning a game for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Ryan, what's funny is like we've been playing. If you compare us against Palace, we are notably better. We're trying to do the right things. We're just shanking at the wrong moment. We're having shots, but we're not converting them. And it's like, can you blame Dyche for people like Dobbin's shot, for example, was a very gettable strike in the second half, and it just was shanked at a play. I can't blame Dyche for a player missing an obvious opportunity like that. I can't blame Dyche for Beto and the team on the field instinctively last week deciding, hey, Beto's taking it. It's his chance. This is his opportunity. Unless Dyche says, no, McNeil, you're taking it. I'm the gaffer here. There's a little bit of, I agree. We're not looking excellent. We're really sloppy through the middle. We need to figure out some fundamentals. But I'm not sure we can blame Dyche too much for the result today. He was proactive on his changes. And
I've had enough, to be honest. I've had enough. It's only when you see it with your own eyes in the ground and you look at how big the pitch is at Old Trafford and you look at Everton and the positions they get pick up, and they don't have the intelligence to just, I don't know what they're being coached to do, progressively on the ball.
Well, so I think, your point there, Ryan, is exactly right. Well, I'm not sure if you say the player lacks the intelligence, is that the manager or is that the player? And where is the balance between, is he getting the most out of them? Probably not. But is it then on the players, and where's that line? But we need right now we need a change, whatever that is. If that's manager, maybe that's the only way to get it out of the players, because we can get rid of a manager. We can't bring players in, but we could bring in a manager, right? And maybe that's
whatever we're doing, it's not working. Whatever we're doing, it's not working.
I think I'm not sure if you've got Basil's number, but I know I had set the kickoff for the next match, or the coverage to go at 7:50. So I could get that going early. I just don't know if he's available to join.
And we can get that going. What I will say is there's 328 people watching this stream live across all the platforms. Mm-hmm. Do us a massive favor for Chris, who's been unbelievable, sitting through that and guiding you through the match. If you could kindly go onto YouTube, search for Follow Everton, so youtube.com/Follow Everton, really easy, and subscribe and support us, because we're putting out this content for you and costs nothing. So I'd be really grateful if you could do that. But obviously I've just left. I'm numb to it because it was 30 minutes of the game where it had already gone. So I'm kind of a bit numb coming out of it now. The last 30 minutes, I thought. But
and that was the way I was feeling, Ryan. I was just ranting.
What do you think of United's performance?
Are you talking to me? I can't tell.
First half as well.
Not too bad. Just sat back second half. You know what I mean? They didn't really try to win games and put it to bed. You know what I mean?
You thought United were poor?
Yeah.
Were Everton unlucky, perhaps, maybe, at times? Do you think they were poor as well?
They were poor, really.
They were poor, yeah. Penalties, do you think they were penalties?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definite penalties.
Definite penalties.
What perspective, you're looking at that as a neutral, so to speak. Do you think that Dyche is doing enough to get the best out? Do you think they're just not good enough?
They're not good enough, and Dyche ain't good enough.
Not good enough, and Dyche aren't good enough.
He's playing the Burnley way when he was at Burnley.
Yeah, poor.
He's not altering his style, is he?
No.
You know what I mean? I know they've been unlucky with the points deduction, but they haven't got the depth.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate those that were able to enjoy the content. And as Ryan said, and I've tried to say when I do recaps, please like and subscribe. It allows you to see our content whenever it comes out. Irrespective of what you're following that week on an algorithm, you'll see our content come up that way. So Ryan, I think I'm going to end this stream, and for everyone else, keep an eye out. I'm going to be migrating over to the other channel here very shortly. Just making sure that Basil's ready if we start a little bit early. So for everyone here at Follow Everton, and for everyone watching, thank you so much for following along with us today. And until about 10-15 minutes, thank you, and see you then.